Alright guys, so factor form. This one is shorter. And hopefully I won't make a mistake. It is what it is. I left the notes at school, so I'm just going off of my memory. So it's pretty good. Anyway, so if you guys remember from standard form, roots, zeros, and what are there was another word, they all mean the same thing. Roots, zeros, and solutions. They all mean the same thing. That's kind of weird. You see how root is singular, zeros is plural? I'm going to write roots, whatever. Roots of a quadratic equation are the points where the parabola, what the x-axis? What do you think? Parabola touches the x-axis. Because sometimes it goes through, sometimes it doesn't, right? So touches the axis. So when that happens, you get the roots, zero solutions, and the x-intercepts. That's all another thing. So x-intercepts, right? So y equals 0. So like, you have something like this, right? This is another way of saying y equals x minus 1 times x minus 5. That's basically it. So graph the equation. Solve for x and plot the points. Hopefully by now you guys did the Khan Academy on, what was it? Zero product property. So, okay. So you got this equation, right? What can you plug in for x that would give you 0? It's the opposites. There's a lot of opposites in math, right? So if I plug in 1 here, what would this give you? 1 minus 0. 1 minus 1, that's 0. If this is 0 already, do I care? 0 times whatever, 0. What if I plug in 5 there? You get 5 minus 1, which is 4. I don't really care about that. You plug in 5 minus 1, 5 minus 5 gives you 0, right? 0 times whatever, it's also 0. So solve for x. X equals 1 and 5. Okay? And plot the point. So 1 and 5, x equals 1 and 5, y equals 0. So how do these turn into? 1 comma 0, then 5 comma 0. Let's go ahead and plot it. 1 comma 0 right here. Then 5 comma 0, count 5, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right there, right? Draw on the axis symmetry, okay? So here's how you find the axis symmetry. Wherever the 2 points are horizontally, axis symmetry is in the middle of them. So how far are these 2 points away? You can just do the math here, just count it. From here to here, it will take you 1, 2, 3, 4. So axis symmetry will be half the distance, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4. So count 2 each way. That's where your axis of symmetry is. Okay. At x equals 3. So axis symmetry. Draw on the axis symmetry. Done. What's the equation of the line? X equals 3. The vertical line. X equals 3. Hoivaks. Find the vertex and graph it. Okay. Also, you could have. Okay. So you could draw on the axis symmetry. Another way you could have done this is, how do I want to explain it? So you can get the axis symmetry without graphing it. It's like this. You find the average, or you could do this by find the average of the two points. So how do you find average of 2 values? X equals, you add them up, divided by 2, right? Whatever numbers you have, divided by 2. 1 plus 5, 6 over 2, 3. You can do it like that. If you want to find the axis symmetry without graphing, add up the points, divided by 2. Find the average, okay? Find the vertex. How do you find it? So you know the x, well, you know the x value of the axis symmetry, right? You know the x value of the x symmetry. So you find that's also the x value of the vertex. How do you find the y value? Plug it in. So you plug it in. 3 minus 1 times 3 minus 5, do the math, equals whatever. 3 minus 1, positive 2. 3 minus 5, negative 2. What is that? 2 times negative 2? Negative 4. That's your y value. Y equals, so your vertex gonna be at 3 comma negative 4. So you got the 2 x intercepts 3 comma negative 4. So go from 0, 0, go right 3, go down 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Right here. And here you have a nice parabola that opens up. I would have known it opens up because there's no negative sign in the front. In other words, A is 1. So A was 1. Well, A is positive. A is 1 and positive. Let's say that. So if A is positive, it opens up, right? So we got this going. Use the characteristics of a parabola to fill in the rest of the graph. What's the domain? All real numbers. You guys remember your 3 favorite things. You can do the symbol, like R, I, and R, but like they're connected. You could do all real numbers. Or you could do, when you do, that's terrible. It's almost like an A. Like sideways A. Negative infinity to positive infinity. What's the range? So you have a minimum, right? Opens up. So it's the y value of the vertex. Always. I mean, whether it opens up or down, it's going to be the y value. Because it opens up, it's going to give us y is greater than or equal to negative 4. Okay. Minimum or maximum? Opens up. It's minimum. There we go. So a couple things about the factor form. Maybe I'll show you guys here. So factor form. Roots. How do you find the roots? It's the opposite. X minus 1, positive 1. X minus 5, positive 5. If you had say you had x plus 1, that would have given you negative 1, right? Once you get the X-Intercepts, you find the Axis Symmetry by finding the Axis Symmetry. Just find it halfway. Or if you don't want to graph it, or there's some under special circumstance you cannot graph it, just find the average of 2 numbers, like I did here. Once you find the x value, that's Axis Symmetry, plug in the x value of the vertex, get the y value, find the vertex. So vertex form, standard form, and the factor form, that's just another way of writing this. And you guys remember FOIL, right? So here's what happens when you do FOIL. You can use the FOIL or box. So let me just set it up. FOIL, first, outside, inside, or last, right? So you can always go from factor form to standard form and vice versa. We haven't learned how to factor yet, but you guys can also, you can go back and forth. So basically, you can do this or make a box. Remember this? I'm just showing you. So x, negative 1, x, negative 5, right? So fill in the boxes, x and x. X times x. X like Punnett square, right? X times negative 1, negative x. Negative 5 times x, negative 5x. Negative 5 times negative 1, positive 5. So I could also do this. So you get x squared minus x minus 5x plus 5, which ends up being x squared minus 6x plus 5. So you can go from standard form to factor form. Factor form to standard form. You guys gonna learn what's called factoring next week, and then you guys can go back and forth if you guys love math. Okay. Sorry, I don't know what it was. It was kind of blurry, but I fixed it. Okay. So moving on to the other side. So you guys haven't learned how to factor yet. So the ones I uploaded, I already factored for you, but I'll just show you how basically solve the equation by factor, because you guys haven't learned factoring. I'll factor it for you. So this factors to x times parentheses x minus 6 equals 0. This one turns into x plus 2, and then in parentheses, and x plus 8, parentheses equals 0. Okay, solve the equations. Okay, so here's what we do. So solve the equations by factoring, graph it, and answer the following. So we're going to answer some of the questions as we graph it. So what are the roots? X minus 6 gives you 6 comma 0. X equals 6, right? What about this one? There's nothing being added or subtracted, right? What does that mean? That means x is 0. So roots are 0 comma 0. So again, you can graph this Well, so from this I can get x equals 0 and 6. And then kind of transfer, right? That's kind of weird. I don't know. You don't want to put it as order pair because they're not order pair. Anyway, so 0, 6, right? So I can graph this and get the axis symmetry, or let me show you this. Find the average of two numbers, which is x equals, add them up, right? 0 and 6. 0 and 6. So add them up, divided by 2. 6 divided by 2 is 3. Or, so that's another one way to do it, or graph this, right? 0, 0. 6, 0. Go right 6 and stay there, right? Axis symmetry at, oh, another 6. Another x equals 3. Whatever. 1, 2, 3. There you have your axis symmetry, right? What's the vertex? I don't know yet. You have to plug it in. Plug in 3 into the equation. So, doesn't really matter, because these two are the same equation written two different ways, right? Whichever you plug it in, you're going to get the same answer. I'll just plug into the top one. Doesn't matter. I'll plug into the top one for this one. I'll plug into the bottom one for this one. Okay? So plug in 3. So 3 quantity square minus 6 times 3. Let's do this. 3 squared, 9. Minus 6 times 3, negative 18. Negative 9. Vertex, that's terrible, 9. Negative 9. So vertex, 3 comma negative 9. 3 comma negative 9. So again, look at, this is a standard form, right? So if I were to maybe identify A, B, and C, it would be A is 1, B is negative 6, there is no C, right? This one would be A is 1, B is 10, C is 16. So, like, I would know that the y-intercept will be 0, 16. It's gonna go out of bounds, but you guys can figure that out. So anyway, 3 comma negative 9. So from 0, 0, go 3, go down 9, right here. And here we go. That's your parabola opening up. You got it? What's the domain? All real numbers. I'll start with A, R, N, this one, all real numbers. What's the range? Opens up. What's the y value? Negative 9. So, okay, so more of the story. Whatever, we don't care if it opens up or not. Y value, the vertex gives you the number. It opens up, y is greater than or equal to. Opens up, minimum. Okay, and then we're gonna move on to the next one. Moving on to the other one, right here. Okay, so you got this, right? Opposites. X equals negative 2 and negative a. Okay, so how does that translate? That translates to negative 2 comma 0, then negative 8 comma 0. So where are they? From 0, 0, go left 2, there's 1, go left 8, so 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, right there. Now Axis symmetry, you can just find the halfway. This one, let me just find halfway, and then let's check our work. So how far apart are they? They're 6 away, right? So you go 1, 2, 3. That's like your axis symmetry. That's axis symmetry cuts everything in half. Cut the distance in half, right? Okay. What's the equation of the axis symmetry? So again, you can just figure it out or do the math again. Find the average of the two numbers. Negative 2 plus negative 8 divided by 2. Negative 10 over 2. It's negative 5. My bad. That's terrible. Negative 5. Right? So that's your x value of the vertex. Vertex is always on the axis symmetry. So negative 5. Plug it in. I'm going to plug in negative 5 to this equation. See which one you guys like better. Figure out if you like to plug it in here or plug in there. Whatever. So plug in negative 5. So negative 5 plus 2. Negative 5 plus 8, right? Negative 5 plus 2. Negative 3. Negative 5 plus 8. Positive 3. So Another thing with plugging in when to factor form, you always the numbers usually gonna match. Like look at this one. So you plug it, you got -3 and 3, right? Look at the previous one from here. You got 2 and -2. So usually they're gonna match. Okay, -3 and 3. -9. Vertex. -5, comma, -9. So from here go left 5, then go down 9. This is pretty skinny. And what did I say earlier? I said you're gonna have y-intercept or about 16, right? Probably, yeah. Because the c value from the standard form, if you guys remember. So there's that. Okay. What's the domain? All real numbers. What's the range? Again, whether it opens up or not. Oh, what a coincidence. That's -9 again. Y is greater than equal to. It's a minimum. Okay. So hope this helps you do the problem for the factored form.